With us now on SARA Television, Renzo Tognocchi, who presented a phenomenal presentation to us on Are We Afraid of the Big Bad AI Robot Lying into the Future? Welcome to SARA Television, the first time we're trying it this year, so that obviously now people watching us after the conference, looking back on your presentation. What did you most want them to walk away thinking and feeling, Renzo?
I think specifically to help remove some of the anxiety and fear around AI. People often associate it with the big bad robot, the likes of HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey, or the Terminator, for lack of a better example.
Yes.
And there is, I think, a little bit of misplaced anxiety around it. So to hopefully just walk away from the presentation knowing that, at least in the short-term future, AI actually has quite a rosy outlook.
Now, Dr. Mark Busson, a little earlier in the morning on day one, had talked about trends that have been predicted over the last 5 years, and we can look back on those now. Hindsight is always the perfect vision. What are the aspects about AI coming into the HR space? Was a big proposal and a big suggestion for it to happen by now, 2018, 2019.
Indeed.
And he said, we've not quite got there yet, but we're partially on the way. What are your views on that?
I would probably agree with Dr. Busson, and I think one of the challenges that has prevented its implementation up until now is simply computing power. It requires a tremendous amount of computer processing power to implement these types of technologies.
Yes.
And we're only getting to that stage of our computing technology within this last few years that has enabled us to achieve what we need to achieve. So I think going forward, the progression of the implementation will happen a lot quicker.
2019 is 50 years since man landed on the moon.
Indeed.
Apollo 11, those first footsteps from Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, that was achieved when NASA had a total computing capability of 8 megabytes.
Indeed.
Now, what are we talking about in terms of AI to make robots happen in the workplace?
Well, I think I alluded to it in my presentation, but specifically, it's far more complex than we ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
The 60s was supposed to be the golden age, and from there on out, supposed to be the golden age of AI. And it was forecast at the time that by the year 2000, artificial intelligence would be self-aware. What the scientists of the age didn't quite understand and didn't quite foresee was how complex it is to mimic human intelligence.
Yes.
And the two biggest stumbling blocks that no one foresaw was, number one, computing power, and number two, what we today call big data. To teach artificial intelligence to be self-aware, you need huge volumes of data, which has only recently become aware, since about the 90s when we started digitally recording everything. So only now can we start achieving what we're
Terabytes and petabytes.
Exactly, and petabytes. That's the day and age of it, exactly. Yep.
But it's coming.
It's coming. It's
How
inevitable.
fast is it going to be an everyday occurrence in
Well,
our
I think we
industry?
need to define the different types. AI is effectively broken into 3 categories: narrow intelligence, general intelligence, and the one that I think everyone fears and what I'm trying to change perceptions of is what we call super intelligence. We are at the stage of narrow intelligence. AI that is taught to do one thing and one thing very, very well. The likes of driving cars, self-automated cars.
Self-automated vehicles.
Siri, automation in general is AI narrow intelligence. That is here, and it will revolutionize the employment environment within the next 5 years, even in countries like South Africa. AI of general intelligence, we're probably about 30 to 40 years away from that, and general intelligence is the intelligence of the likes of you and me. The AI superintelligence, which a lot of people refer to as the singularity, that is at least 100 years away.
Wow. So you and I won't see that in our lifetimes.
Thankfully, no, so we don't actually have to worry about
So lose the fear.
Lose
the big
the
bad
fear.
robot's not that bad, really.
because he's not here yet.
And let's
Exactly.
work with what we have available
Precisely.
to us. A
Indeed.
pleasure having you with us on
Pleasure
SARA
being
TV.
here. Thank you very much,
you,
Mark.
Renzo.
I
Appreciate it.
Cool. Cheers.